So last video we made an all-time classic Spanish dish, so I thought we'd continue on the Spanish theme, but this time with something a little sweeter. So today we're making the ultimate cheesecake. Now, the most famous version of this cheesecake is from a little restaurant called La Viña in San Sebastián, Spain. If you ever have the chance to go there, you'll see that it's packed with people from all over the world, all eating this same cheesecake. Now, this version of a cheesecake is probably a little different to what you're used to. It doesn't have a crust, you don't cook it in a water bath, and you actually cook it at a really high temperature until it's brown all over. But in my opinion, it's the best cheesecake out there. So if that sounds good with you, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's go do this. So let's talk ingredients. You're gonna need 1 kilogram of cream cheese, 500 mils of heavy cream, 300 grams of sugar. Now, I never said this was a diet cheesecake, I said it was the most delicious, so just bear with it. You're gonna need 5 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. But I forgot to kind of add it in here. It's over there. Now, those amounts are what I use for this pan here, which I don't have the exact measurements for, but I'll add them to the description somewhere. If you have a different size pan, if it's smaller or larger, you might need to tweak the amounts slightly. So to make this cheesecake, easiest thing in the world. Mix all the ingredients together, stick it in the pan, put it in the oven for about an hour, and then we'll just leave it in the fridge overnight. So that's it. Let's just go make this thing.
We'll start off by adding what looks like entirely too much cream cheese into a bowl. Don't worry, it's not. Now make sure that the cream cheese is at room temperature. That'll just make mixing everything a lot easier. Then we'll add our sugar and mix everything until smooth. Now I'm using an electric mixer for this, but if you don't have one or you just need the workout, you can definitely just use a whisk and do this manually. Now a good way to test this is if you run a little bit of the mixture through your fingers. If you don't feel any of the sugar granules, then you're good.
That's already delicious.
Now we'll add our eggs. And again, we want these at room temperature, so just make sure you take them out of the fridge like 20 to 30 minutes before you're gonna do this. Add 1 egg at a time and make sure you're fully incorporating the egg before you add the next one.
Ah, crap. Happens to the best of us.
In with our heavy cream. Yes, it's a lot of cream. Yes, it's delicious. No, you don't need to feel bad about it. Now we'll go in with our vanilla extract. This step is optional. It's not part of the original recipe, but I find that it just really helps kind of bring everything together. Now we'll sift our tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And this is just to give the cheesecake a little bit of structure. And now we'll go ahead and just mix this well until fully incorporated. Now with a little bit of room temperature butter, we'll just go ahead and butter up our cake pan. Now we'll get a couple pieces of parchment paper and just press it all around the mold. Now don't worry about making this super pretty and perfect. In fact, the rough edges are actually what give the cheesecake its signature look. But do make sure you leave a couple centimeters of baking paper above the actual cake pan, because as this cheesecake lifts in the oven, these kind of baking paper walls are gonna support the cheesecake. Now go ahead and just dump all the batter into the cake pan. Give it a couple taps just to make sure we get rid of any air bubbles, and place it in an oven at 180 degrees for about 55 minutes. Now, as you can see, after about 55 minutes in the oven, the cheesecake is really kind of puffed up and it has a really nice deep brown color all around it. And it's quite jiggly still. Don't worry, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. Now, just leave it in the cake tin until it reaches room temperature or it's cool enough to touch.
Now, I've left it a little while and it's now cool enough to the touch. What we saw before was how the cheesecake, thanks to those eggs, had that really nice rise to it. But now as it's cooled down, it's gone ahead and kind of deflated and compressed. Now what I like to do is I like to stick it in the fridge overnight and then take it out of the fridge about 20 minutes before I want to eat it. Now, if you can't resist, you can definitely cut into this and just eat straight away. I would recommend you stick it in the fridge, at least overnight.
Now this cheesecake has been in the fridge overnight, and I took it out of the fridge about 20 to 30 minutes ago. Now remember that you want to eat this at room temperature, so make sure you give it that time. And now we're ready to unwrap this and to reveal what is, in my opinion, one of the best looking cheesecakes out there. So I like to eat this plain. I don't put any kind of glaze or any fruit over it. It's delicious as is. So let's give it a try. This is just stupid good.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this a try. This is by far the easiest cheesecake you'll ever make. You get to burn it and it's still delicious. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.